You want to know what's actually keeping you broke? It isn't that you aren't making enough money, and it's definitely not because you haven't found the right crypto moonshot yet. It's that you're trying to build a skyscraper on a foundation made of sand. Most people I talk to are obsessed with step 10, the investing, the flashy returns, the passive income, but they're doing it while they have a 24% interest rate anchored tied to their neck. If you get the order of operations wrong, you aren't building wealth. You're just moving water around in a bucket that's full of holes. My name is Alex, and I spend a lot of my time obsessed with one question. Why do two people with the exact same salary end up in completely different worlds 10 years later? One is constantly stressed about an engine light turning on, while the other is quietly building a seven-figure net worth. Today, I'm going to show you the specific, non-negotiable habits of people who actually become millionaires. It's not about luck, and it's rarely about a high-stress Silicon Valley job. It's about a system. And if you follow this order, becoming wealthy isn't a maybe, it's basic math. The biggest mistake I see is the wealth illusion. You see it everywhere. Someone gets a $5,000 raise, and by the next month, they've already signed a lease on a car that costs $600 a month. They're trying to run a marathon, but they keep putting rocks in their backpack. Every time they get a little faster, they add more weight. Social pressure is the biggest rock. We buy things we don't like with money we don't have to impress people we don't even know. But here's the psychological trap. Your brain rewards you for looking wealthy today, but it punishes you by making you a slave to your paycheck tomorrow. If you're investing $200 a month into the stock market while carrying $10,000 in credit card debt, you aren't an investor. You're just losing a math war against a bank that is way smarter than you. Building wealth is actually incredibly boring, and that's why most people fail at it. They want the adrenaline of a big win. But millionaires, they love the system. There's a specific hierarchy for your dollars. Think of it like a video game. You cannot unlock level 4 until you've cleared level 1. If you try to skip ahead, one bad day, one medical bill, or one job loss will reset your entire progress to 0. I'm going to break down the 5 steps that take you from surviving to financially bulletproof. And step 4 is where the math starts to get really life-changing. Step 1, the starter shield. This is a $2,000 emergency fund. Now I know what you're thinking. Alex, $2,000 isn't going to make me a millionaire. You're right, it's not. But $2,000 is the difference between a flat tire being a bad afternoon and a flat tire being a financial catastrophe that goes on a credit card. Statistics show that nearly 40% of people can't cover a $400 emergency with cash. When you have this starter shield, you stop playing defense. You're no longer a victim of life's random inconveniences. You've bought yourself the most valuable thing in the world, breathing room. Don't invest a penny until this shield is in place. If the market crashes and your car breaks down at the same time, you don't want to be forced to sell your stocks at a loss just to get to work. Now that your shield is in place, we have to kill the parasites. I'm talking about high-interest debt. Credit card debt is a financial cancer. If you have a balance at 22% interest, there is no investment on the planet, not Bitcoin, not the S&P 500, that will reliably beat that. Let's look at the math. If you have $5,000 in debt at 20%, you are paying $1,000 a year just for the privilege of owing money. If you pay that debt off, you just guaranteed yourself a 20% return on your money. That is an elite-level investment. Millionaires understand that debt is a tool for leverage, but consumer debt is a trap for the middle class. The habit here is simple. Stop the bleeding. You can't fill a pool if the drain is wide open. Once the debt is gone, it's time to build the fortress. This is your full emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is where the psychology of wealth really kicks in. When you have $20,000 or $30,000 sitting in a high-yield savings account, you carry yourself differently. You don't take crap from a toxic boss because you aren't one paycheck away from homelessness. You make better, more rational long-term decisions because you aren't operating out of fear. Fear is the enemy of wealth. When people are scared, they sell their investments when the market dips. But when you have a fortress, you don't care if the market dips. You have cash. You're safe. You can afford to wait. But here is where things get interesting and where most people make a huge mistake. Now we finally get to the fun part, investing. The habit of the wealthy isn't picking the right stock. It's the habit of automation. Millionaires take at least 15% of their gross income and disappear it into low-cost index funds before they even see it in their bank account. Let's look at the power of $500 a month. If you start at age 25 and invest $500 a month into a standard index fund averaging 10%, by the time you're 65, you have over $2.6 million. The total amount you actually worked for was only $240,000. The other $2.3 million was created by the money itself. The problem is, people see $500 a month and think, that's not enough to make me rich, so they don't start. They wait for a big break. But in wealth building, time is a much more powerful variable than the amount of money you have. Impatience is the most expensive emotion you can have. The final habit, and the one that separates the fake rich from the actual millionaires, is lifestyle lag. When your income goes up, your lifestyle should stay the same for at least 2 years. If you get a $10,000 bonus, don't buy a $10,000 watch. Put that money into the system. The people who quietly follow these principles are the ones who wake up one day and realize they don't have to work anymore. Wealth isn't about the car you drive or the brand on your shirt. Wealth is the silence of a bank account that allows you to do whatever you want, whenever you want, with whomever you want. It's built through boring, repetitive, disciplined systems. Stop looking for the secret and start following the order. If you found this helpful, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and let me know in the comments which step you're currently on. I want to know where you are in the journey. I'm Alex, and I'll see you in the next one.